Good morning. It's 11 o'clock a.m., December 30th, 2023, the day before New Year's Eve, Saturday. And this is Live Windows Training. I have audio confirmation. And I just realized I didn't have this queued up and ready for me to get to the right panel and mute it. And there we go. Let's see. Let's get that one too. That one's already muted. Okay. And I'm going to come over and look in the chat room. Say hello to y'all. Dennis, first up, your game has a similar mode in Fortnite Festival, but not VR capable yet. So he's probably referring to the trailer where I was playing Beat Saber. Alice says hi to all. Tony Waller with a $1.99 super chat. And not only that, let me make sure I'm remembering this right. If I'm remembering right, yes, Tony recently sent an Amazon gift card this morning. Thank you so much for that, Tony. And then let's move back into chat. Mike Wojcik. Mike Wojcik lets us know later he's the only one in Zoom so far. Is that still the case? Yes, that is still the case. He's the only one there. Jonathan says hello to everybody. Mike Wojcik saying hello, and Tony and Mike and CFWW wishing everyone the best in 2024. You know what? I just got used to writing 2023. I just got to the point where I'm not going to by mistake write 2022, and they're going to change it on me again. Ay, caramba. Ida says hello to everyone. Jonathan, Ida. Let's do scrolling all around up there. That must have made you dizzy. Jeff Ryman says, good morning. Seldom Ball with a weather report. Jonathan John Williams. People saying hellos to each other, catching up. Tony gives us a AVDVRW, good, except for the watch. I got to put it down, and he reminds me of that by simply putting in that statement there. That way, if he texts me to let me know of a problem, I'll be able to hear the text message. And I do have the Autobot, it's not Autobot, it's SpeakerBot and StreamerBot running. So it's about time for somebody to test the exclamation mark D. Oh, wait a minute, he did that. He did an exclamation mark D, and it did not come through. Let's see. There's Tony Wallow with a text message testing that. Oh, come on.
Ada Rivera said, "Hey, bendito."
There we go. Somebody came through with "Ay, bandito." But this one from Tony did not come through. Now I have the desktop audio unmuted, which means also if somebody speaks up in Zoom,
John Williams
their
said,
voice
greetings,
is going to come
Doug.
through, and I'm not going to know it because I'm not hearing Zoom. So I guess I better fix that. Mike, would you give me a test? See if I can hear you. Oh, he's behind now.
Testing.
Okay, now Mike, I just unmuted myself so that you can hear me through Zoom. So you probably want to mute me on your other thing, the other gadget. Oh, it's YouTube. That's what it's called. And I'll continue through the chat room. Ran Israel. Oh, people know we're in trouble if Doug couldn't even think of the word YouTube. Ay, caramba. Jonathan, Ran Israel, Selden, Bobby Warren. Hello, Darren Gill home. Catching up here. Speedy says, great trailer. Is that your workout before each show? LOL. John Williams and Speedy. So there, that catches me up.
Tim Sowell said, testing.
Yep, that's working. We'll talk a little bit more about that speaker bot in a little bit, but I'm going to go and bring Mike up here on screen and say hello and welcome. Hello, Mike. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you doing, Doug?
I'm good, thank you. Did you have any topics to bring to the round table?
No, I just haven't been around for a couple of weeks, so I wanted to join.
Oh, good, good. So glad you did. So apparently when you came in, that caused the system to go into an automatic lockdown so that nobody else can join. I guess. I don't know. Let's see. There was something that I wanted to do at this point. Well, I guess we'll go into the
Bobby Warren said I had to make a phone claim on my phone, and I got a 14 Pro Max.
Okay, that's just a little too sensual of a voice for Bobby Warren, don't you think? Now, Mike, I don't think you heard that because you have your YouTube audio muted. So yeah, if you're in Zoom, you're not hearing the audio came through. It was a very sensuous female voice that Bobby Warren had saying I had to make a phone claim on my phone and I got a 14 Pro Max. All right. With the SpeakerBot and Autobot, if you do an exclamation mark D, it'll work with uppercase or lowercase if it works. If it fails to come through, I want you to follow up that immediately with an exclamation mark P. That's what will give you the Houston, we have a problem. Let's see if this
Demeanor said hello.
Yeah, that one came through. I have suspicions about what has been causing the troubles with SpeakerBot and StreamerBot, but I don't know for sure until we troubleshoot it. So I'd like to get that as the next step, is when you do an exclamation mark D and it doesn't come through, follow that up right away with an exclamation mark P. And also, I have not yet seen an instance where exclamation mark P fails. Well, exclamation mark P does not grab your
Speedy
comment.
said speedy testing bot.
Okay, that works. Now go ahead and give me an exclamation mark P so that you all know how that operates. Doesn't matter if you type anything after the exclamation mark P, it will not come over.
Houston, we have a problem.
It only comes over as that. Now the error message that happens when it doesn't work is that it will not, it tells us that something's not bound and unbound. So that sounds to me like the variable of some sort is not passing through. Well, that could be the text. Now the exclamation mark P only works once in 2 minutes. So once Speedy C did that, Jonathan did not come through because the 2-minute timeout had not elapsed. All right, so that's how that works. And Bobby Warren's exclamation mark P there, I think, is too short of the 2 minutes. Yeah, 11:06 to 11:07. And if you keep trying it, you'll find that one will come through after that 2 minutes expires. Now, the main purpose behind this is for you guys to be able to let me know when there's a problem or to answer promptly to something that I'm talking about. It's like if I ask a question or if I can't find a word or something like that, you can feed it to me right away instead of waiting until I get to that point in the chat. There's, let's see, Darren's came through, still 11:07, so the clock hasn't ticked over yet. Now, we don't see seconds in my timestamps here, so when does it happen? It's probably, yeah, I'm sure it is counting the seconds. Guys, no need to ask if you got to go. What? If you got to go, you got to go. What? All right. Exclamation mark P. Looks like IP. You need to go to the restroom? Just go. All right. Now almost there. I'll go ahead and let you keep trying until that 2 minutes times out. I think it was 2 minutes. Another suspicion about that unbound characteristic is that it might be that when it's grabbing the voice from SpeakerBot.
Houston, we have a problem.
There you go. Now it's timed out again for 2 minutes. So we can put that to bed now, okay? Until we have a situation, if you do the exclamation mark D where you're trying to respond to me and you don't hear it come through, then after a reasonable amount of time, was it maybe 10 seconds probably, when you type that in, how long does it take for you to hear it? I know that I see it come up in chat and then there's a few seconds before I hear it, but it's going to be longer before you hear it because of the latency. So tell me in chat, how many seconds do you think it takes when you type in that prompt? How many seconds does it take before you hear it? Any way to choose our own voice. You can choose your own voice by telling me which voice that you would like to have, and then I would have to assign it to you, but that's not going to happen immediately. Now, I think I have this set up. Yeah, here, let's see. Yeah, here at the top of your screen, you can see the last voice that came through was 0. Now, if you go ahead and give me another voice, you'll see who it comes through as. And notice on these exclamation mark P's, there's no name. It doesn't tell us who said it. But when you do the exclamation...
John Williams said, ready, set, go.
When you do the exclamation mark D, it shows the name of who sent the comment. So here you can see that voice was Drew. If you would like me to assign the voice Drew to you...
Tony Wallow said, is this trip really necessary?
Then let me know that. Trip. Oh, the round trip, I guess, is what he's referring to.
Speedy C said test voice.
So here you're getting a few different choices, and you could go back in the video
John
later.
Williams said it only took 3 seconds.
You could go back later and see which of these voices you like, because you're seeing what these sound like. Oh, that was Santa Claus. And now it's not just Santa Claus, but Santa Claus English V1. If you want to request a voice, you need to include that part in the parentheses. And yeah, I'd kind of like to do that. I don't mind assigning voices. Now, one of my suspicions is that it could be that we won't have the problem with it not working anymore if if I assign specific voices and instead of letting it pick at random. Now, I don't see any errors there. I don't think is that the screen where the errors come up? I'm looking, checking cues. I'm not aware that we've had an error yet. Yeah, here's the screen where the errors come up. Let's see, how do I show that one? I'll drag that over here. Yeah. This screen is where the errors would come up. So we haven't had any errors yet. Now, I don't know why that is.
John Williams said, Lady Gaga, best voice.
Okay. Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga was the song that I was doing Beat Saber to, and up in the upper left-hand corner we had Lady Goo Goo Gaga prancing around in her underwear. Lady Goo Goo Gaga or Lady Gag Gag are a couple of nicknames I have for her, not meaning to be.
Wintermute said, Santa Claus, ho ho ho.
Yeah, that voice just doesn't work for Santa Claus. That was Rachel, as you can see on screen. All right, we need to move along. Let's put this away. I'm going to turn off those displays of the voices. Do I want to do that? Oh, no, I'll leave that there. But I'm going to go to the subjects for today and move along to. Let's see. I got to take this off screen. Come over here to the subjects for today. GreyWolfe sent me an email shortly before the show started today, and I summarized that as wanting a list of users to display on Reboot. I'll go to his email in a moment and give you a better explanation of what that is. I also added onto the list exploring why Morningstar website and others are slow sometimes. This was brought up yesterday by Danielle, and this one is to look at the resources available to us in Task Manager through Process ID, and then I put it in again as item number 4, and this one to use Inspect, Network, and Throttle the...
Ran Israel said half the screen is covered.
Oh, thank you. See, that is a benefit of doing this. I gotta cover that. Speaker button. Turn that off. Thank you. So there's the GreyWolfe. Want the list of users to display on Reboot. Morningstar website and others are slow from Danielle. I didn't put her name on here because she wasn't actually asking for help with that. Look at the process ID in Task Manager and then look at inspecting on the web browser tab itself and throttling the network down slower so that we can see what's happening. And Morningstar is a great website to explore this with because they have so much content on their landing page. And then troubleshooting topics, complaint versus symptom versus characterization of symptom. I'm interested in discussing that with you all. Now, let's punch over here and I'll go get GreyWolfe's email up and conceal his email address. And this came in, what, 39 minutes ago. Well, 39 minutes ago when I opened the email onto this screen. He says, longtime lurker here. Something I am researching at the moment is getting the login screen, i.e. the list of users, on a single PC to show every time. At the moment, there are 3 local accounts on the machine, 1 admin account with a password, and 2 regular users without passwords. Currently, if the system is restarted while signed into a regular user, the system automatically starts with that user. So it'll automatically log in all the way into that account because there's no password. If there's a password on it, then it will stop at filling in the password. He's looking for a way to be able to have the user selection automatically show each time the system is either restarted or cold booted. All help appreciated. Now, of course, we could just tell him put a single letter password, lowercase a, for instance, so that a password is required. But can we accomplish that without a password? I've got some ideas in mind that we might be able to do that. I'm assuming that he'd rather not put a password on them, and probably it's in a home environment where there's family members and they'd like to be able to turn the computer on and be able to pick which user from that list without having to put in a password. GreyWolfe, if you're watching right now and willing to make your presence known, go ahead and say hello in chat. Be good to know if you're here and can interact with us. And if I don't get a response from him, then I'm going to bring up Baby Beast and we'll explore this a little bit. I have not even done any Google searching on this. So I'm going to go take you into the area where I think it might be doable. And in the meantime, for those of you who want to do some Google searching, you can go look for that. Okay, so let's take that off the screen and get out of that window so that I don't accidentally display that again and come back to chat. Seldom Ball, I'm guessing that using a recognizable voice of a well-known celebrity is a serious no-no or should be. No, that's not. Do they have any well-known celebrities in that list? You know what? I don't think they do. I don't think that I noticed them, except for Santa Claus, of course. But I don't think that's impersonating, doing an impression of a voice is allowed. So I'm thinking that would be okay. But you can't tell me what voice and I go find the voice. It has to be one of the voices that is available in the system. If the screen is covered, probably a PowerShell script will do that. Morning, afternoon, evening. Is he referring to the recognizable voice or the logging in? Red Guy, afternoon, all in chat. Just having first cup of coffee, 48 degrees in Southern Maryland. Ken is running behind, but he's here. Jonathan Wintermute. Scroll up and down. And Ken there again. So let's go see who joined us in Zoom. Here we go. Hello, Tim Sowell. How are you today? I'm not hearing you, Tim. Now I see that you're muted. And there. Hello, Tim. Still not hearing you. All right, we'll come back later. Let's go. I want to get over to Baby Beast. So I'm going to, let's see, start with restarting. Yeah, I'll go ahead and restart Baby Beast. This is Windows 11, and I don't know if the question is coming to us from GreyWolfe as Windows 10 or Windows 11. I'll let that restart, and that'll just refresh your memory as to how Windows 11 is going to restart if your user accounts have passwords, and if the last user account that was signed in had a password. If one of your user accounts does not have a password, but it wasn't the last user account used, I am almost 100% certain that it's still going to come to this lock screen. Then click on the screen and get a list of users on the left-hand side. And for me, it's asking for a PIN number rather than a password because I have a PIN number on this account. Now, in order to demonstrate this, I would need to create an account without a password. Let's go back. I'm going to go back and look at, if I click on my name, look at these accounts. Yeah, one of those might not have a password. Let's try this DB. That one's asking for a password. Try shelled. Yeah, this one shelled does not have a password because it just has a sign in button. Oh, and it looks like I've never signed in with that account. All right, we'll let it finish initiating that account. And then when we restart the computer, it'll automatically sign in with that account if it's the most recent account that was signed in. And it's already back up and it's into that account. Let's go restart. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm still logged in with my other account. So let's finish through this. Install profiles. No, I'm not going to do that. We'll say remind me later for that. And mirroring 360 is running. Don't care about that. Come over here and switch back to the account that I'm signed in as, and I'll sign out of that account. Go to the Windows button. I was already up. Click on DougBetts and sign out. And then go back to shelled. So now shelled is the only account signed in. So now if I restart the computer, it should automatically log in to the shelled account. And in the meantime, I'll say hello to Tim Sal because I can hear your voice. Right?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Welcome, Tim. Did you have any topics to bring to us?
No, just hanging out, enjoying my 4-day weekend. Probably the first weekend I'm not busy in a long time.
Well, that's always a good thing. So there it is, automatically logging into the shelled account without putting in a password. My suspicions of where to stop this from automatically logging in is in the registry win logon section. I see some suggestions in chat, so we'll go look at those before I start poking around, since Ran Israel did go do the research. And let's see, Greg M also, and Greg M again down here. And Greg M here is saying, with PowerShell, getting the account information for a logged on user of Windows machine is easy since the username is readily available using the Win32 computer system. I don't think we're going to need to be going that into a PowerShell. I think it's going to be easier than that. Let's go look at this one. Superuser.com. Force sign out of user upon shutdown restart. I've got a Windows 10 Pro installation with 2 local user accounts configured. If I'm signed in to user A and I shut down or restart without explicitly signing out first and then sign in as user B after boot up, I can see that user A still shows as signed in. This shows up on the user submenu of the start menu. Is there any way to change this behavior? This is not the behavior we're being asked about because the complaint here, what he's having is it automatically re-signs in with the same user that was previously signed in. This looks like they have fast startup configured. Well, gee, I didn't think the fast startup would not log out the user on a shutdown. But anyway, I think this is a different question and answer. I'm going to move along and look at this one. This is for sysops. A common task any Windows admin might have is finding out locally or remotely which user account is logged onto a particular computer. Many tools exist for this purpose. Okay, so there's that about using PowerShell to see which account is logged in. And I don't think that's the question that we're being asked. And if that would lead to a possible solution, I think it would be more complex than needed. Greg Guy, Rick Lakes, I wonder if you can use NetPLWiz, trying to remember what that's, to prevent auto login. And Costanza is saying the same thing. I recall doing things with that. Use NetPLWiz to enable disable auto login. On how to use NetPLWiz to disable automatic login. Windows tool for managing user accounts is a Windows run command that lets users easily remove the need to enter a password upon Windows login. Well, that's we can already do that. It's a Windows run command that lets users easily remove the need to enter a password upon login. That's not the problem he's having. You can use this command to easily disable password login or disable automatic login. That's more on point. You can use it to change the user membership to standard administrator and guest. Well, it sounds like a utility tool to easily make those changes. So that, for instance, would be easier than what I have in mind of using a registry entry to do this. NetPLWiz from the Windows System 32. Double click it to activate it. All right, well, let's take a look at that. Windows System 32. Scammer text. That was a scammer text message. Okay. Coming back to Baby Beast. I'm going to just type C:\Windows\System32. Enter. And then click on any of these folders and type NE. That gets me to the first folder that begins with the letters NE. Then I'll type NE again. That'll get me to the first file that begins with NE. And that should get me pretty close to NetPL. It's still down a ways. So how about NETP? That gets me pretty darn close. There's an application called NetPLWiz. And look at that. I have extensions hidden. That's not normal. To show file name extensions. There it is. Double clicking to launch. I did not right click to launch as administrator. Oh, okay. Well, this just gets us to the network users configuration. That's why it sounds familiar, because somebody provided that before as a run command shortcut for getting into this list. And what are they saying here we would do? To disable password login. Disable password login. Disable a password. That's just for disabling a password on an account. That's not gonna cause you to get the user account list. That's still gonna restart the computer and automatically log in with a username, the last username that was used. Let's see. There's a V more. You can just search NetPLWiz and Windows search. Yes, certainly. Just press the Windows key and start typing it. Lots of ways to get anywhere. Users must enter a name and password to use this computer. Now, yeah, there's still going to be a user account, but it's just going to automatically start up to Windows. That's not the request being made. Use NetPLWiz to disable auto logon to Windows. To disable auto logon, you can type the command user account, user must enter password, click apply. Check the user must enter username and password to use this computer. That's not going to do it for us, because all that does is that forces you to select a user. That's not going to prevent a user account with no password from automatically logging in if it was the last one used. Fix NetPLWiz, no checkbox for user must enter a username, password. No, this doesn't look like it's going to do it either. Turn off require hello. All right, let me take you to the method that I have in mind, and let's see what the initial thoughts are there. I know that some people have put in some more options, but let me go show this one. Regedit.
Zvi Manor said, "Try my link."
I just acknowledged, Zvi. I know that others have been put in there. I'd like to go show this one that I have in mind, and I'll come to yours. Local machine, and let's see, I'm going to try to remember this. Software, Microsoft, Windows NT, current version. I'm doing this from memory. I did not look this up. WinLogon. And default auto logon SID, restart background, disable background. This doesn't have any of the default configurations because I haven't needed to do that. So I'd have to go look it up. But default user, what I'm thinking is if I put in a default username that does not exist, then that should be a way to trick it into coming up with the list of users. So that's what I have in mind. Now I'm going to come back to chat and go to Zvi's link. itsolver.net. Somebody's got their YouTube audio on. Okay, I think Josh has got that fixed. Hello, Josh. Hang on for a little bit. How to show all users on Windows logon screen. Yeah, I've been down this road too, and it has a different purpose, but maybe it'll serve this purpose too. Windows 10 11 by default will only show the most recent signed in user and currently signed in users. Kind of annoying for computers that are shared by a few others. This is not the request that we're being asked to deal with. This can change to show all users that have signed into the computer. Show all users that are added to the computer. This is not the complaint, not the request. And I've been down this road before for that specific purpose. But this is different because this is not going to prevent the computer from automatically logging in to the last used user if the last used user has no password. This will go ahead and log into it. And what I have used this for in the past was on servers, because servers don't show the full users list by default. I think I'm remembering that right as the purpose that I used it for. So offhand, that doesn't look like that'll do it. Don't display last username, remote desktop, remote access, change administrator without password. Okay, unless I'm missing something there. So let's go say hello to a couple more people. Let's see. Not two more, just Josh. Hello, Josh.
Hey, bud. Whip up.
What's up? Well, I'm doing a YouTube live stream show right now. You might want to come and check it out. Tim got a chuckle out of that, but he's on mute, so we didn't hear him laugh.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you as well. Coming soon, anyway. Coming soon to a theater near you. All right, so I've got to find that designation for changing default username. If I remember correctly, I think I have that in my notes that I'm pulling up on another screen over here. Default auto logon Windows all version. Yeah, here it is. So here I'm showing my notes about auto logon Windows all versions. There's a default username and default password and auto admin logon. Now, what I usually use this for is for a client who wants their computer to automatically log in as themselves and there is a password. So by configuring these three, default username, default password, and auto admin logon, they can start up their computer. It automatically logs in as themselves with their password. Now, downside of this for security concerns is if somebody gains access to the computer and can open regedit, they can see the password because it displays in the registry, not encrypted. I'm going to come back to chat. See, there's Zaviz, Kasanza. You can just search NetP. Yeah, all right. I saw that earlier. Try my link. Ken to Tim, good morning. Great weekend, 3 or 4 day weekend. Okay, so that catches me up. Nope, not quite. What version is GreyWolfe dealing with? He didn't tell us. He didn't tell us whether it's Windows 10 or Windows 11. And he didn't tell us whether it's Pro or Home, so we don't know. Group Policy Editor if it's Pro. Group Policy Editor in order to control the registry setting. Is that the only reason why you're saying Group Policy Editor? And to my way of thinking, Group Policy Editor just adds an extra layer of complexity to changing a registry entry. I experience exactly that problem when I restart from my personal account, then log into my admin account. So Jeff is saying that he's having that. Yeah, when he restarts from his personal account that implies does not have a password and his admin account does. Jeff is trying the suggestion in the link. Take a look at the last post in this forum post. So that would be Greg M's forum post. Which one was Greg M? Mini tool. The last one in the forum post for the mini tool. No, where was it? The link is too long trying to post here. What I've been doing is logging out my personal account, then restarting. My personal account, non-admin, has a password as well as the admin account. They both have passwords. All right, well, when you restart the computer, it should come up to your list of users. It shouldn't automatically log in with either account, but it will default to your personal, to whatever account you were last logged in as. That part about that last post in the forum maybe was from Greg to Ran Israel. post in the forum maybe was from Greg to Ran Israel. All right, Jeff Ryman comes in. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
All right, Jeff Ryman comes in. Hello, Jeff.
Me.
All right, I just muted you, Jeff. You can unmute yourself when you're ready. And I'm going to come back to Baby Beast and go ahead and add that registry key. So I did a right click in the blank area here and then choose new, and bringing up that list on my screen to remember what type of, let's see, I want to use default username. And it says, yeah, it's a string value. Default user name. I have not tried doing this before, but I have thought about it before and been curious about it. So if I put in for instance, a username that does not exist on this computer, such as Josh, then when the computer restarts, it tries to find Josh and can't find it, I would expect that it's going to then show up the full users list and let me select one of them. Or is it going to completely bork the computer? Now, I'm currently signed in as Shelled. If I click on Shelled, I see the other users and so you see there's verification. There is no username of Josh. I honestly don't know what it's going to do. This is an experiment, a live action experiment. Greg M., when you said you could not delete your last comment, the solution to that we've discovered is do a refresh of your browser page or wait for somebody else to put more content in chat. Then you should be able to delete your last comment. Of course, your last comment is an actual link. I don't know why you want to delete that.
Greg M. said I posted a link to a script to do this.
Okay. Here it says I posted a link to a script to do this. So that link right there is a script. This one, disable auto login of last user without password in Windows 10. Well, that sounds like perfectly on point. For those having the same problem as this post, I have created this. Oh, by the way, my solution did not work. It restarted and it still logged in as that user, as Shelled. Now, there may be some additional variation upon that that'll get it to work, but that first attempt did not work. So coming back to this link. For those having the same problem, I'll zoom this in a bit. For those having the same problem as this post, I created a simple batch script to automatically edit the registry and its permissions. Okay, so they're taking a registry method of doing it to bring back the ability to choose a user upon startup so you don't have to manually go to regedit and do the changes. So this is going to be showing the precise registry entries that have already been proven to do it. For those who want to try, feedback would be great to see. Batch scripts uses the solution provided by this post. All right, so that post right there, I'll right click, open a new tab. That should give the precise registry changes. Windows, not Windows NT, current version authentication, logon UI user switch. Change the value of the registry enabled of the key enabled from 0 to 1. That's a single registry change. I'd far rather do that than run a script. There's one more problem to solve. The user system automatically changes the value to 0. So we will disallow the user system to change it. Oh, okay. All right. That gets a little more complex. Right mouse click the registry user switch permissions. Click on advanced and then on the disable inheritance button. If you're prompted with two options, choose the first one. Convert inherited permissions to explicit ones for this object. At the top of the dialog, change the owner from system to the group administrators. If your Windows is not in English, the name might be might be different. All right. Select the group administrators, allow full control. Then double-click the entry for system and deny the rights to system because it will automatically change that back. That's interesting. That's intriguing. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to get to that solution by hacking it, by hammering around on it. So, Greg M., that looks like a good one. Bleeping YouTube, I could not delete. All right, yeah, I posted a link to a script to do this. I don't know what comment you were trying to delete, Greg, but we've seen that in the past, and when you first make a comment, I'll demonstrate that here. This is a comment I will try to delete. Press enter, and if I come over here to the 3 dots next to my name, now the 3 dots don't even show up yet until I got to turn off my picture-in-picture. The 3 dots don't even show up yet until something else comes in chat. And I can do another thing in chat myself. Now let's see. Now 3 dots still not coming up for my name. Oh, that's right. This is where we have to do the refresh. We don't get the 3 dots until I refresh this. I'm going to try it with the F5 key. Let's see. Yeah, there. I did the F5 key, and now the 3 dots are available, and I can remove that message. So for anyone having trouble removing your messages, that's the way to do it. Yep, quality YouTube programming. That's right. And there, Tim just did a test of it. Okay, so I am intrigued with trying this. Go to that site or that place in the registry. I'm doing a Control-C on Big Beast with that highlighted. And I'm checking Baby Beast to see if that came over in my clipboard. Oh, it did not because I'm not logged in with my user account on the other computer. All right, I'll just go ahead and maneuver to it then. Reg edit and answer yes to user account control. And we want to go to local machine software, Microsoft Windows. So I'm going to delete back to Windows. And that gets us local machine software, Microsoft Windows, and then current version. I think if I put a backslash here, CURR, that gives me a pick list here of everything that matches CURR. So I'll click on that and then put a backslash at the end of that, AUTH, and then right arrow key and put a backslash and then USER, and that gets me to, let's see, wait a minute, user switch. Oh, user switch is not in that list. Here's the authentication key. Current version authentication, logon UI. I missed that one. Logon UI. All right. And then user switch. Here we go. And enabled from 0 to 1. So double click on that, type a 1, click OK. So that makes the change. But these instructions over here said there's one more problem to solve. The user system automatically changes the value to 0. So we'll disallow user system to change it. Right click, right mouse click at the registry key, user switch permissions. Okay, registry key, user switch down here, and choose permissions. Then click Advanced down here. And then on the Disable Inheritance button, click on Advanced, and then on the Disable Inheritance button, down here. If you are prompted with two options, now choose the first one. Convert inherited positions into explicit ones for this object. Now that makes sense. Convert inherited permissions into explicit permissions on this object. Yeah, that makes sense. At the top of the dialog, change the owner from system to the group administrators. All right, up here at the top, we click the change button and change it from system to the group administrators. So if we type administrators in here, administrators with an S, and then click check names to confirm that we got that typed correctly, and then click OK. Select the group administrators entry, allow full control. I didn't do that part, did I? Oh, I'm still here. Select the group administrators entry. The group administrators entry here, it already has full control. The select group administrators entry, allow full control. Yeah, that's already set. Double click the entry for system and click deny. Okay, so double click the entry for system and then change the type from allow to deny and click OK. Cool. Deny, click on Show Advanced Permissions. Go back to System and Show Advanced Permissions. Is that in here? No. Show Advanced Permissions. Where am I missing that? Double click the entry for System, select Deny, and click on Show Advanced Permission. That seems like it must have been in here and I missed it. Click Deny.
Greg M said advanced permission in upper right corner of screen.
Oh, right there. There it is. Thank you. See there? That speaker bot to the rescue. Good one, Greg. I was not seeing that. Show advanced permissions. Okay. Here, clear all, only check set value. Click clear all right there and only check set value. Yeah, so I'm seeing here that this would be very useful to be you doing it with the script if you had a number of computers that you want to do this to. Going through these steps on multiple computers would be a real nuisance. But I wouldn't want to be using somebody's script until I've checked through this process manually and understand what it does. Let's see, it only check set value. Are we done? What is this thing? I'm not really a person, I'm a background process. Get rid of that. Oh, I just floated the mouse over that apparently. I think I messed up something. I think these are comments. Yeah, these are comments. So it looks like this is the end of the whole procedure, right? Make sure to disable the option for every single account on the system, not just the account that gets signed in automatically or all accounts without a password. Oh, this is somebody else's solution, I think. I think this is the end of it. Do you agree, Greg M? Is that the end of it? See what else we got here. Matthew Camp. Hi, I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to do, but I believe configure the username to auto login, and here's a video on how to do it. No, that is not what we're trying to do. I think you were not with us through this whole thing. Oh, he says, now I see, never mind. Yeah, this is an explanation. That's cool. Tim says he will use this. Could we set it up with a group policy? Advanced permission upper right corner. Maybe not with group policy. And I think that Mr. Betts' method might be sufficient. Yeah, and this wasn't my method. This was what Greg M found. This was not the method. I wanted to do this in the registry, but the method I was going to was not going to solve it. Yep, that's the end of the rest of comments. Oh, John Williams, yours did not come through. Don't blame me, I'm a robot, LOL. So there is a instance where the bot message did not come through. I didn't hear that. Let's see where it is. Oh, there it is. I'm going to show you what happens. This is as far as, well, this was the first message I knew of that was an error. It's not the first one. And here's what it gives us. There was an error speaking text to speech. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. When I did Google searches for this, it got a lot of other stuff from SpeakerBot and StreamerBot, because there's a lot of other things where a lot of other situations where you might come up with this. But this implied to me that there's some variable that's not working right, that's not getting set, for instance. And it could be the user's name that did the chat message, or it could be the actual content of their chat message.
John Williams said that is okay.
Or it might be the selection of the random voice that's causing that. Yeah, I'm not pursuing this for your purposes, John. I'm pursuing this for my purposes. I want this thing to work consistently. And by the way, that was Santa Claus voice that he just used. But I saw that there was another one up here. There was an error up here.
Greg M said, I wonder if it is the apsitarphy in the text.
No. Clearly, well, let's see. Wait a minute. This one had an apostrophe. This one up here, can I tell? That one was at 11:29. This one at 11:57. See how these times are matching up pretty good? I won't. Greg put that in. I don't see an error, but I didn't hear it come through. I didn't hear anything.
Greg M said, I won't.
All right, that one came through as Paul. This one for Harry, I didn't hear it, but it didn't give me an error message. This one at 11:29. Let's go up and see what that was. Around 11:29. None of those. 11:32. That's 3 minutes later. And I heard that one come through. I don't see one there. All right. But anyway, the apostrophes did come through. Now, back to the task at hand. All right, Greg M confirmed that we do seem to be, that we are finished. So now back to Baby Beast. I did that set value. Click OK. Click OK. Which one of these? This one. I should have read that through. It was giving a warning about the deny configuration, which makes sense that it would have given a warning for that. So here I'm logged in as shelled. I'll restart the computer and see if it works. Greg M says, drum roll. Don't even do that, Doug. Just don't do that. Tapping on my desk for a drum roll. Because I don't have a button on my Stream Deck. There it is. That worked. That worked. Somebody's in Zoom speaking, I think. Go ahead.
I did a drum roll for you on my desk.
Oh, okay. You know what? I think your Zoom background noise cancellation probably blocked that. Go ahead, try it again right now, Jeff. Not hearing it. Not hearing it.
Okay.
Not at all.
Sorry.
Yeah. You'd have to switch Zoom to do original sound in order for that.
I'm not even
through.
sure how it's set.
Yeah. All right. Well, that did work. And coming back to Baby Beast, and showing here that it defaulted to the first user account that shows in that list of accounts. I'm going to go back into Shelled. It has no password. And demonstrate that once more. Give it a chance to finish starting up here because I got so much clutter. All right, I don't see any more spinning weight indicator. Restart. Yes, Greg M saying, yep, talk about a long process to do something that seems to be a commonplace issue. This is the first time I've been asked for this. Yeah, there we go again. It just picks up the first, displaying the first username in the list. So I think that's a winner.
Doug, can I explain exactly what was going on with mine? We don't need to do anything about it. But
go ahead.
So I logged into my regular account doing something, and I get a notification say that I've got a software update for one of my items of software. So then I quit what I'm doing. I restart it from within the account. It reboots. It gives me the account selection screen. When I boot in, I manually log into the admin account, and then I look, and I'm also logged into my regular account without doing it.
Okay.
Explicitly.
All right.
And so then I go and I log out of that account because I don't want to install software while there's anything else going on.
Right.
It's not terrible bad stuff. It's just a nuisance sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So what I have been doing is that I would log out of my regular account and then restart. And then when I manually log in to the admin account, nobody else is logged in.
That sounds familiar to me because I've come across instances where working on a client's computer, I'll want to restart the computer and I get a message that somebody else is logged in. Then I go look at the account list by just clicking on my username still in Windows, and it will show what other accounts are logged in.
Right. I mean, that's what I do once I get in the admin account. I look and see if I'm still logged in the other account. And I was.
But it seems that restarting the computer should log out of any logged in accounts.
But if you look at Rand's link, there's a setting under your personal account thing that link suggested you try. It says has something to do with auto completing setup after you update or after you restart.
Okay, is that the link in the superuser.com?
Yeah, that's the superuser.com.
Okay, I'm gonna go bring that up and have a look at it. Now, let me describe that when I've come across a situation that sounds like what you're describing. I've had situations where I'm working on a client's computer and I go to do something that and it alerts me that there's another user logged in, and I'm scratching my head because I'm thinking, I'm sure I just recently restarted the computer. And it's my presumption, and now I'm calling it a presumption. 20 minutes ago, I would have said it was fact, that when you restart a computer and you get to the users list to select from, that all the other users are logged out at that point. But what you're describing,
That's what you would think,
yeah.
but I don't know how to tell at that stage if it has automatically logged me back in my other account. You would think if it automatically logged me back in my regular account, that I could see that at that point, but it's making me log in whichever account I want.
I have here's a case that I'm sure I have seen, where I get a message indicating that somebody else is logged in, and when I'm in Windows, I click on my username and see the other users, and it'll show me which one is logged in. But if I actually log out of the account that I'm currently logged in, and I get back to the Windows lock screen where I see the list of users, it does not show me there which user is already logged in.
That's what I have, because on all my accounts, I mean, like on my machine, I had an admin account, my account, and I still have not gotten rid of the account my late wife had. It's still sitting there, just unused at this point on that machine. And then I have another machine on my old desktop where I have a similar thing. I made my grandson an account so he could work on schoolwork from home here.
All right.
So, but I found out if I say I'm in my regular account and I want to do this, if I actually log out of that account to where I'm back at the selection screen and then I restart, then this doesn't happen.
Okay.
Because I have actually so I've made sure I was logged out of the other account. Like I say, it's not a life and death thing. It's just a nuisance because I don't like to install software.
Rand Israel said second try. That may have to do with your Microsoft account that is associated with your local account. I get the same message.
Hang on a second. There's a couple of audio messages that came through while you were talking there, Jeff. So actually 3 of them. Let me go catch those and then come back to what you just said, because I did not register what you just said, and I think they're interacting with your comments there. That may have to do with your Microsoft account that is associated with your local account. I get the same message. The instances that I was describing with my clients, they were not signing in with Microsoft accounts, but you can tell by the way I'm talking right now that I'm kind of questioning myself whether that's really true. John Williams, click the thumbs up if you enjoy the content. It will not hurt you, honest. Rand Israel, second try. That may have to do with your Microsoft account that is associated with your local account. I get the same message. That may have to do with your Microsoft account that is associated with your local account. I get the same message. What is the message that he's referring to? I'm not sure. Speedy C. Doug, the reference to an object is a coding error in the app. The program is not assigning correctly in the code of the app. That's a bug in the software. Well, yeah, that's what I'm expecting is, a coding error in the app. And my troubleshooting efforts is just to eliminate where is that coming from and how can I work around it. I agree that that's an error in their app somehow, a bug in their app. But I'm interested in figuring out a way that I can work around it until they fix that. Okay, Jeff.
Well, the other thing I've seen recently, Windows 10 is trying very hard to get me to log in with my Microsoft account.
Yeah.
These days. Now, I have a Microsoft account. I have a little bit of free space on OneDrive, which I start when I log in. And I use a Microsoft for email. I access it using Thunderbird. So I don't actually go to the website and do it.
All right.
But some of this attachment someplace, I'm getting notifications now. Wouldn't you like to log in with your Microsoft account so we can have all the same stuff on all your computers, yada, yada. So I don't know if that is related to this phenomenon or not.
Is that coming to you as a Windows notification?
Yes.
Have you gone through the Windows notification configurations to try to disable that notification?
I've done what I could. I'm not sure I'm clicking the right thing, but I've turned off all the notifications that I think might be causing stuff.
All right.
But when I see it, I just click the dismiss and then it's gone. I mean, it's not making me do anything. But you can run into some funny stuff. When I installed Office 2021 Pro on here, I had to log in with a Microsoft account to install it. And there were some very strange things that happened. I installed it as the admin, but it associated my wife's account with my Microsoft account when she had her own account. And it did some very strange stuff that I had to go through and manually undo all of that.
So this was a fresh install of Windows Pro?
Right. I mean, I did this around a year ago.
Okay. Well, do you recall when you were doing that, getting to the point where it asked, how are you going to use this, for personal use or business use? Do you remember that question?
Yes.
Yeah,
personal.
but you should have answered business, because if you answer if you answer that you want to use it as business, then Microsoft assumes that you're going to be logging into a domain server. So it takes you straight to creating a local user account. And there's no obligation to actually log in to a domain.
Interesting. I understand.
It's easy.
Yeah, I take your point.
Okay. Yeah, it's deceptive, but easy.
Right, but it associated at that point in time, I had 3 accounts on this new computer that which I built.
Yeah.
Admin, mine, and my wife's. The time I did this. In fact, it's been longer than that because she's been gone, but she was still alive then. So that was prior to April 2022 that I did this. I used one of those keys that Carrie links to.
Yeah.
The other thing that's aggravating about that Office, though, is that it won't let you do autosave unless you keep your file on OneDrive.
Right. Yeah, autosave is related to OneDrive, and even regardless of whether you're logging into Windows as a Microsoft account. And something that I think maybe, well, some people may not.
I wonder, had I said I wanted it for business use, if that requirement would still exist, because in that case you might have the domain server like I had the last place I worked where we stored our files.
Yeah, no, it does not. I've used it many times, saying that it's for business use, regardless of whether it is actually for business use or not. It just takes you straight to a
had I said that, would it let me do autosave locally, or would it still require me to do autosave on some kind of a server?
I don't believe that would make any difference. Okay. And my experiences with server operations, I have not seen an instance where autosave as it is implemented in OneDrive exists on a server. I don't have anybody do an autosave to a server. Except for the Microsoft Word background autosave, where it does an autosave in the background every so many minutes. Mm-hmm. But that operates differently than a OneDrive autosave.
Yeah. All right. Well, just the last paying job I had full time, we had our own local server. I mean, a domain server, and then we were not allowed to keep work files on our personal hard drive in our machine, simply for the backup purposes.
Yeah. Now,
all right, thank you.
In that environment, was when you were storing on the server, it was not doing autosave, was it?
I had set up autosave, but that was on Office 2010. I mean, that's been a while back.
Well, the Microsoft Word autosave that does a background autosave, the intention behind that is if your computer crashes.
Right.
And you exit without actually saving the file. But if it's still possible that you've made changes since the last autosave, and if you exit without saving changes, you will lose those changes. So it's a different operation.
I've just trained myself to save the file every so often.
Right. All right, let me get back here to chat. Let's see. Ran Israel said, we are both using Microsoft account without actually logging in with it. It may cause the logged on user notification. Yeah, I
was wondering in our last conversation.
Yeah. So when he says we are both, he's referring to himself, Ran Israel, and you, Jeff Ryman, correct? When he says we both?
I think so.
Yeah. Both using a Microsoft account without actually logging into Windows with it. That may be the cause of the logged on user notification.
Yeah, I can test that by shutting off my auto start of OneDrive.
Oh, Rand clarifies he's referring to himself and me.
Okay.
With the Microsoft account without logging in with it. Well, I am logged in with my Microsoft account on Big Beast and Baby Beast. But when I was logging in as Shelled on Baby Beast, I was not logged in with the Microsoft account. So I'll just go demonstrate that over here. If I go back here and log in as myself with my PIN, and then come to the Windows button, sign in options, and up here in the upper left, you see my Microsoft account email address. I am signed in with a Microsoft account, and I do that on both Big Beast and Baby Beast because I like to be able to synchronize the electronic clipboard between the computers and also Microsoft Edge and other stuff. So I do log in with the Microsoft account, and I like it. I'm that person that likes it, the oddball.
Well, you do live in California, so
yeah, that could be part of it. And then he says, "Oh, I thought you were using local account with linked Microsoft account." No, but I do have some of my client computers set up that way, where they are not signing in with a Windows account, a Microsoft account on Windows. They have a server. We want them using local accounts, but even I have some of those that after we create the local account and log into the server, that we will still associate a Microsoft account to the Windows login. And that still works fine. There's many different ways Microsoft accounts and Windows local accounts can be used. You can actually have a local user profile that is signing into Windows with a Microsoft account if you first created it as a local account. And he's saying, yes, that's what I meant. Okay. Okay. So if that's what he's meant, well, it started out as a local account. Yeah, both Big Beast and Baby
Speedy
Beast.
C said, oddball, such a Doug.
Yeah, so I think more specifically, that's what he meant is I created them as local account and then attach them to Microsoft account. So it is, in my mind, logging into Windows with a Microsoft account, but it uses a local profile. It's a confusing, jumbled mess. Thanks a lot, Microsoft. Although if they made it simpler, then it would be more restrictive on what we could do. That's a problem. Flexibility and independence comes with complexity. Oh, you know what? I didn't go through that. I didn't continue with that website that Rand provided and Jeff said it was useful. Was it super user?
Yes.
This one on super user. Force sign out of user upon shutdown, restart. Yes, this would achieve, sounds like it would achieve what you're describing.
Ran Israel said, with great power comes great confusion.
That's right.
Well, I'm going to try it and I'll let Rand know in one of your chats or something.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit acquainted with it. Accept necessary cookies only. And this person is saying, I've got a Windows 10 Pro installation with 2 local users configured. If I'm signed in, let's say to user A, and I shut down, restart the computer without explicitly signing out first, and then sign in as user B after boot up, I can see that user A still shows as signed in. This shows up on the user submenu list of the start menu. Right. Is there a way to change this behavior so I'm always fully signed out upon restart? Shutdown, perhaps with a group policy user GPO setting, group policy object setting, I guess is what that is. Open settings, account sign-ins, account details, use my sign-in info to automatically finish setting up my device after an update or restart. Really? And they're saying disable. Use sign-in info to automatically finish setting up my device after an update or restart. Oh, all right. I get that. Huh.
That may also explain sometimes after I've done an update to something, and I log into my local own account, I'll get this message. Let's complete setting up your Windows. And that's already been done. So I just go ahead and skip all the steps or whatever they got left.
Yeah. So let me follow this through here. Sign on options. Let's see, it says accounts, sign in options here. Use my sign-in info here. Use my sign-in info to automatically finish setting up after an update. So mine is turned on, and I've never noticed it causes symptom because I am signing in with my Microsoft account each time I start the computer. If you were signing in with a non-admin account, then when you restart the computer after an update, this setting would make it automatically sign in with your admin account to finish the update, but perhaps leave you at the user's screen and you could sign in with a different user. That I could see that. But that should only be happening after an update or something else that occurs that requires admin functionality. Now, my initial reaction, why did that come up? My initial reaction to this issue, it was, let's see, let's try the fast startup setting. I was thinking may be involved in, let's see, that's not here, that's power. Power plan. Doesn't that get me to it? Change advanced power settings. No, that's not it. All right. So, oh, they're here. What the power buttons do. That gets us into this fast startup. So I have fast startup turned on. And I was wondering if you have this turned on, when you shut the computer down, it doesn't shut down all of the system components. My understanding was that it does shut down the user profile so that when you start up, it doesn't have to reload all of the operating system device drivers and applications, but rather just reloads the user profile information. That's where my mind was going. I don't think that is
just
it.
Going to sleep, isn't it?
It's like a hybrid of in my mind, a hybrid of Hibernate, where it's not hibernating the system profile and the user profile, but rather just hibernating the system portion. So yeah, kind of a hybrid of Hibernate.
Yeah, I've got fast startup shut off.
All right.
My computer's fast, so I just let it reload everything.
So that eliminates where my mind was going regarding your issue, which I have since become convinced that that is not the source of your experience. But that experience over here sounds right.
Yeah, I'll report back at some point what happened as soon as we get done here today. I'm going to try that and
all right. Good.
See how it goes.
Chris is asking for me to share that link. That was
I did.
You did it? Oh, you gave it to him again. Yeah, that's it. All right. Good. Good. Thank you. All right. Let's go take a quick look at the subject that Danielle brought up. She wasn't actually asking, well, she didn't actually ask, but she made a comment about Morningstar website, how slow it is. And after the show, I think it was yesterday, I went and looked at that and instantly realized why it's slow sometimes. So Morningstar, Morningstar.com. You'll see here that it is very, very cluttered with a lot of stuff, with a lot of active content that is being updated. And when you go to this website, it's bringing in all of these elements. So it could be quite slow at times. Now, I want to use Baby Beast to show how many processes this page is using. So I'll come over to Baby Beast, and I have not launched Google Chrome since starting the computer. When I launch Google Chrome, I have several tabs that automatically launch. So I right click on Google Chrome and going to select new window. And I think that'll just, it gave me into all of those windows. There's some method here to get me into just a new tab. I just want a new tab. I could do incognito window, right? That'll get me into a single one. I did not try doing this way, but at this point, if I do Control-Shift-Escape and look to see how many processes Google Chrome has open with just doing that much, here's what I get. Now let's prove this. I'm going to exit from there and see that, yeah, it closed all of Google Chrome. Right click again on Google Chrome. I know some of you are going to be saying, well, don't use Google Chrome, use something else. That's not the point that I'm getting at. Relax, lighten up. You can do the same thing with any browser. So there's, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now if I go to Morningstar, oh, there's some efficiency tabs open. Honestly, this isn't as much as I was expecting. I saw a whole lot more clutter come up with Google Chrome. But all of these elements are separate processes that come in. Now, let's see. If I right click on one of these and go to details, let's see what we get here. There's that number of Chrome. Honestly, that empty single page of Chrome, I've seen that come up as less before. Why did that come up with so much for me? Guest mode. Let's try guest mode. Now browsing as a guest. Task manager. Go back to processes. See, yeah, that's less there. When I tried this yesterday, there was a lot more tabs coming up when I went to Morningstar. Okay, so anyway, right click, go to details, and that'll get you to this list, which actually shows process ID numbers. Each of these is a separate process ID number. So if you, for instance, right click and in task on this, you may notice something disappear from the display, or you might actually crash the entire Chrome, which it looks like that I might be doing there. But the point that I wanted to make is that Morningstar has a whole lot of active content that it's pulling in, downloading from the web, and that would be an explanation why it's so slow. Now, once you sign in and actually have an account, I suspect that Morningstar has the capability of configuring what shows up on your landing page at Morningstar so that you see fewer items. If you were to create a bookmark that takes you deeper into some element of Morningstar that has smaller amount of information, and you click on that bookmark when you want to go to Morningstar, then it's not going to load all of that stuff. Greg M says every extension launches as a separate process as well. Yeah. Danielle in chat. With markets being closed, you would not expect Morningstar to be terribly slow to get. That might be a difference. That might be a difference. Now, another piece that I wanted to get to here is right-clicking on the page and go to Inspect. And then in the up here at the top, click on Network. And then it's, let's see, where was that in here? Throttling. Over here on throttling. You can throttle this down to fast 3G or slow 3G. So it's going to simulate what would happen on this website if you had a slower network connection. And by doing that, you can see, using these graphs up here, things that are actually happening. And here on this left-hand column, it's popping up another screen there. Why? Probably because I floated my mouse over something. Yeah, you can see all these different elements that it's downloading and displaying. These ones that have a larger waiting for server response. You see, oh, there it is. When I float over that, it shows what is happening, waiting for server response. So this one is actually taking 2 seconds, 2.02 seconds. So you can see the actual elements on that page that are taking more time. And by throttling it down like that, you can get this information, I think, in a more detailed way that might be informative or help you see what's going on. Probably mostly a curiosity thing, but it's looking at this as just a way of explaining, why do some websites take so long to display? Another possibility with Morningstar, see, I do have you on Baby Beast, right? Yeah, I do. Is that there could be some sequencing involved. You know, if you ever see some like a pattern of lights that are, particularly around Christmas time, you might be watching a light display, And you watch it long enough and you'll see at some points the different light strings seem to get in sequence with each other. Well, there could be times when these elements on the Morningstar page are coincidentally all downloading new content at the same time. And therefore you get a moment where it seems more sluggish than it was. So anyway, Danielle's comment yesterday just kind of brought up that subject to my mind, and I wanted to bring that to the table and see if people have any reactions to it. So let me go to chat. If anybody in Zoom wants to speak up on that, just, clear your throat or say, hey, Doug, or something like that. Where are we at here? Share that link. With markets being closed, Morningstar, every extension launches, also serving up those ads. Whoops, I'm not displaying the right screen there. Okay, there we go. And Drew is here. Hello, Drew, with the hello hands there. Drew is often playing Fortnite with Dennis and I. All right. No reactions in chat to that subject. Coming back to the list of topics. So that was Morningstar website regarding task manager process IDs and inspecting and slowing the network down. One other place to go on that point is in Task Manager. As you're seeing a website that's slow, another place you might go to is the Performance tab, and watching your Ethernet or your Wi-Fi, depending upon what you're using, to see the activity there. And then you can drill even deeper by going to where's the link? I'll maximize that. Yeah, some performance. Come on, why am I not seeing the link to go deeper into this? Resource Monitor. All right, it's on the, I guess it's on the 3-dot menu now with Windows 11. In Windows 10, I think it's a more obvious link somewhere on the screen. The Resource Monitor, and come in here to look at the Network tab and see more detailed information about the network activity and see what's happening and help you judge why something is operating slow. Another thought that occurred to me was the possibility that an ad blocker might actually slow things down. I don't know if that's a thing. You would think an ad blocker would stop content from coming in, but if there's a two-way conversation going on about the ads that it's trying to serve, could that actually slow down the display of that page? I don't know, just another thought to throw into the mix. Jeff says, thanks, Doug, and I think he took off. Yeah, he left. All right. Well, I think we're about ready to wind down then, unless somebody has other comments or questions. Resource Monitor is permanently pinned to my taskbar for RAN Israel. What else do you use it for, RAN? Why do you have it pinned to your taskbar? What are you doing so frequently? Lawn Dog turned on uBlock Origin again for the last 3 days. Everything seems to be going like it should with no problems.
Tony Wallow said later.
I have Task Manager pinned to my taskbar too.
Yeah. I have hardware info automatically launching every time I restart the computer. And cool. I think I even at times have had it logging. I think have it configured so it automatically logs. Yeah, I was doing that when I was back when I was having troubles. Haven't had troubles for a while, knock on wood. Drop frames is showing 0. Rand says it's mostly to monitor TCP connections and or background services. I had a conversation with my brothers yesterday. We do a Zoom session every Friday. I have 3 brothers and a nephew who's often with us on those. And I explained to them the difference between TCP communications and UDP communications. You can imagine the glazed over eyes. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and put this to bed. I'm going to bring Zoom back up and ask you to say goodbye to the audience, although Tim just walked away. Oh, there he is, back. Yeah. If you would, gentlemen, go ahead and say goodbye. Mike, you're currently muted.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm clicking in Zoom. And last comments here. Let's see about the problem with autocomplete and Outlook built into Windows 10, deleting entries. So he's asking and bringing up another subject. Let's see, great stream next week. Let me come back to that in a moment. Even though clicking the X brings up a question about deleting it from its internal list, it's not working. So when you delete it from that list, does that mean the bad addresses are still coming up? And that does sound familiar. I went through that with a client. Let me think about that a little bit and circle back around to that perhaps on Monday. Let's take it up some other day. I don't understand why I get confirmation about deletion, but it doesn't happen. It does not delete. It is still there. That is sounding familiar. I'll look into that and remind myself what we did previously with my client. Bye until next time. See you. The address does not get deleted, even though it asks for the confirmation. Yeah. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Have a great day. Hey, Happy New Year. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I'm going to
Speedy C said bye, Doug.
Goodbye. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on the Ken Stout 12-hour debacle. He's going to do a 12-hour stream for New Year's Eve. All right. Clicking and stop streaming. Goodbye.